You see my screen? Yes? Yes? Okay, good. All right. Well, this is a companion piece to one we did last week, where I sort of showed you what was on streaming services and which ones existed, the main ones. Today we're going to talk about how to get them if your TV is not smart enough to get them, if it's not smart at all, or if it's only a little bit smart. Just at the start here, I'll be describing some products you might want to buy. I have researched them as well as I can, but I can't guarantee that every one of them will work with your exact setup. So take this talk as a start for your own research. But no, I'm pretty confident that it's good information, but just check before you go and buy anything. Okay, so what is a smart TV? Most of us probably know, but just in case you don't, and to keep it comprehensive, smart TV is one that connects to the internet and it contains apps for streaming online video or audio content. Some of them are smarter than others. Some have more apps, or they're easy to use, or they used to be very smart, and then technology moved on, and they're not quite up to date anymore. That's possible. You may have a perfectly good TV, but one which isn't updatable in one way or another. There was actually an article to this effect on the TV guide of the Sydney Morning Herald a couple of months ago, where they said if you've got a perfectly good TV, but it doesn't have all the smart features you want, rather than throwing your TV away, you might want to get a box or some other device. And anyway, this is basically what we're doing here, and we'll go through some of the more sensible options. Now, I understand some people don't even know if their TV is smart. Well, I presume you guys probably do, but if you don't, have a look at its remote, and if it's got a Netflix button or a guide button or something like that, press one of those and see what comes up. Now, an app may well come up, but you still may not be connected, and so you have to be connected to the internet either through Wi-Fi or a cable. And we don't have time to tell you how to do that now. I presume most of you've done it anyway, but anyway, you go to the settings menu and you either then plug in a wire or put in a password or something like that. So basically the way you make your TV smart, if it isn't already, you have to insert something between you and the TV, some sort of internet enabled device, and that's what we're talking about here today. Now, the cheapest and easiest option is a Chromecast. Very cheap. You can get them for $59 at JB Hi-Fi, and pretty much the same everywhere. Or you can splurge and spend $99 if you've got a 4K resolution, if you've got a really good TV. But almost certainly, if you've got a 4K TV, it's probably smart already. Paul Purvis gave a little talk about this kind of stuff last time. You got a little picture of it, and it tells you what it does. It plugs into your TV through the USB port on that side, and you have to set it up and tell it about your Wi-Fi service, etc. And once it's done that, you basically you can cast anything that's well, not anything, but a lot of things that are on the screen of your PC or your iPhone or your Android phone or your tablet, and you can see if it will cast, in other words, show what's on your device. If you see this little symbol down here, and you'll see that on things like iView and Google Photos and the various streaming services of the TV stations and on Netflix and the like. So if you can see that, you click on that, and it'll either, if you've got more than one device which you can cast to, you choose which one you want to do it to, up to 2 at my place, or anyway, you just touch it and it should happen. And the good thing about this thing is it's so simple, it doesn't really have anything on board at all. What it'll do, it just reflects anything that's on your device. So if, say, a new version of the NetView comes out, or iView or whatever, you didn't download that onto your tablet or your iPhone or whatever, and the Chromecast will just cast that back onto your screen. So theoretically, this thing should never get out of date, I guess, but you can never be too sure about that. Maybe some technology will overtake it. So that's the simple, easy solution, which works for Android devices and for Apple as well. But if you have got Apple stuff, you want something a little bit better, a couple $100 or more, you might want to get a thing called an Apple TV. Bit of a Noma, it's not a TV, it's just a little box with a remote. And unlike the Chromecast, which has pretty well nothing on board, this actually has got a whole lot of apps built into it. So once you've plugged it in, you'll see Netflix and iView and the like. And you got the little remote down here, which you just point at it, and you choose what services you want to watch. And also it'll cast your own content. So if your Apple Mac or your iPad or whatever has got photos or videos on it, it'll show it easily on your TV. And that costs you $209 for a simple one, or a higher resolution $279 at JB Hi-Fi. But something a bit better still is a box that will turn your TV into an Android TV. Now, I happen to have an Android TV, and I didn't buy it for that reason. I was glad to discover it had it though. It's a Sony, and I believe that Hisense have it, and maybe some Philips. And it's a very good user interface. It has a Google Play app on it, and because of that, it's as easy to update or put new apps onto it as it is to put on any other Android device. You know, you go to the Google Play Store and you download new apps. And it also has a built-in Chromecast, so it'll do everything that the previous thing did, the Chromecast, plus a whole lot of extra stuff. This was actually the device, or the one on the left, was the one that was recommended in the Sydney Morning Herald article I drew to your attention. And it's called an NVIDIA Shield. It's not real cheap, but it's very good. $289. I read some reviews and said you can pay more, but it's got internal storage on it, which I'm not quite sure why you need, but otherwise it does exactly the same as this one. So this should be a very good piece of equipment, and it's definitely worth getting if you love your TV, but you're not happy with its smart features. And even some new TVs don't have all the apps on it that you might like. But the beauty, as I've just said, of the Android system is that just about any app that Google can find, you can download onto here, and it'll make your TV extremely versatile. Now, during the course of my research, I found this number 2 here, this Blaupunkt. I never heard of it before, but it's got very good reviews, and it's only $149. And apparently it also does a very good job of turning your TV into an Android TV. And once again, they all work the same way. You just plug it into your USB, and you tell your Wi-Fi system that this thing exists, and it comes with a very simple remote, which then points at this thing, and it makes your TV smart in an Android sort of way. So if you're interested in these, I suggest you check them out. But certainly from what I checked out, they seem to be pretty good little machines. But if you don't want to do that, there's a couple of other options. For instance, there's set-top boxes. If you remember the early days of digital TV, just about everybody had a set-top box, because your old TV didn't pick up digital TV, so you had to put a box in, which then converted the signal so you could see it on your old-fashioned TV. But everyone has got digital TV now, I think, but there's still a place for certain kinds of set-top boxes. And the Fetch is a very common one. You can get them for free, or depending on what your internet service is, you can get them for free or for a few extra dollars if you're with Optus, iiNet, Internode, and maybe some others. And this thing, I think you plug your TV antenna into one end, and you tell your internet, your Wi-Fi, or your local your wired network. You tell your network about it, and the other end it's got the HDMI, which plugs into your TV, and basically or your remote just talks to the box. And it has a whole lot of built-in things. It has all the streaming services. They also have extra channels, like with Optus, for example, for a few extra dollars and the other thing too. You can get various packages for $5 or $10 or $15. You can get kids programs or news channels or so on. And you can also buy movies through it. So you for usually about $6 for a late release movie, and a bit less for older ones. You can just download a movie through it and watch it. And I think Optus even gives you, and maybe the others, give you 30 free movies a month that are on there. I'm not saying if they're good movies or not, but you know, well, they're free. So, and there's two kinds of fetches. There's the mini, which is the one you get with most of these services. Well, there's a Fetch Mighty, and what it has is you can record up to 6 programs on it. Now, I used to do a lot of recording because early versions, well, the commercial channels didn't have very good catch-up services, and early versions of iView, which I watch more, was a fairly poor sort of a picture. But now they're all very good, and so you don't really need to record very much. But if you think you need to record up to 6 programs, well, then you can get the Fetch Mini. As I said, you can get them for free or for a bit more with your internet service, or you can buy them at Harvey Norman or JB Hi-Fi or the like, and there's the prices. Very similar kind of a product is Telstra TV. You can buy these for $216, or if you're a Telstra customer, you can get them for $9 a month. Now, you don't even have to be a Telstra internet customer as long as you have a Telstra account. Like I've got a Telstra mobile, but my internet doesn't come from Telstra. So I could get one of these if I wanted to. And from the reviews I read, it's probably a little bit better than the Fetch. It has catch-up, live TV, streaming services, lots of movies. And also it claims to not get out of date. So a bit like the Android system. If it needs to update, it'll apparently do that. So it's got a lot of stuff on it, and it looks like a pretty good product. And finally, if you've got a PlayStation, or if you're thinking of getting one, as you can see from this thing I copied around here, it also has a whole lot of smart features. Probably not as many as most devices, but if you've got one anyway, or if you want to get one because you like playing games, or you want to have it for your grandchildren, then this might be the thing for you. I don't think it'll make your TV as smart as a lot of things, but maybe if all you want is stand Netflix, YouTube, and the catch-up services, that might be all you need. So I wouldn't buy one to turn my TV into a smart TV, but if I had one, if I had reason to get a PlayStation 4, that might be all I needed. Now, the thing is, of course, you can put in more than one box. You can get one of these, and if it's not enough, well, then you can go and get a Chromecast or an Android box as well if you wanted to. So there's no reason why you shouldn't have more than one. But it's probably a bit silly. You should probably decide what you really want and get it. So that's really all I have to say on this. I'm sure there'll be some questions. So I'll hand over to the questions.
Right, good afternoon again. So as Gert said, I'm sure people have some questions. So who would like to go first? Well, while you're thinking about questions, I might just add a few extra comments to what Gert said. First of all, I can endorse the Mighty Fetch. I'm still a little old-fashioned, and I do like recording things, and I just like to be able to shift a program half an hour if I'm busy doing something, and I use the Mighty Fetch to do that.
Yeah, the Telstra box will do that too, I think. Yeah. Well, so do lots of things actually. Yeah.
So it's really quite useful for that, and I do have a TV that wasn't particularly smart, and the Fetch box is now the way that I watch all live and catch-up TV through one box. And having a single box is actually quite convenient. So that's one option. Any questions? Well,
one other thing I might add, which I should have said earlier on, is that one good thing to cast, I mean, I sort of implied it, is just your pictures on your phone or your iPad or whatever. You can do very nice slideshows onto your big TV. That's a good application for a smart TV, or one that you've made smart through one of these boxes.
Yeah, I'd endorse that. Helen, just unmute yourself.
Yeah, just wondering about that. Can you get them from your phone onto your smart TV, your photos?
Sure, yeah. Well, actually, on my phone, the ones which are sort of on the phone as such directly, they won't cast, but I've set my phone up so any picture I take goes onto Google Photos. The Google Photos casts, so but the phone by itself won't. But I mean, it's the same thing, but you just have to look for that little symbol I told you about, and some apps will allow you to cast and some won't. But Google Photos will do it very nicely.
Right.
As will I think Apple Photos, iCloud Photos, I think they do too.
And if you download them to your computer, can you then transfer them onto the TV from your computer?
It depends what your computer is, Helen.
Well, it's an HP.
Running Windows.
Yeah, Windows 10.
Yeah, Gert, do you want to comment on?
Well, if you can see that little symbol, you should be able to.
I've got that symbol down the corner, yes.
Yeah, okay, well then it'll cast. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. And also, Gerd, when you go into Netflix, how can you tell what you've watched? It doesn't seem to tell you you've already seen this or you've already watched this.
No, I thought it did. I thought somewhere along the line, I mean, Netflix is a fairly complicated app. I think it's got a history tab there somewhere, which will tell you what you've watched, I'm pretty sure, because that's especially useful if you're watching a series and you've seen, episode 1, 2, and 3, and you want to find episode 4. So I think it's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a history tab.
Yeah, somewhere, yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Mary.
Unmute yourself.
Thank you. I hope it's not a dumb question, but you were saying that with the Apple TV, that has apps built into it. And with the Android boxes, you can get games and apps via Google Play. So if you've got an Apple TV, you can still get the games via Google Play and the apps via Google Play, can you, or not?
I don't know. Jim probably knows. I'm not too sure.
If you have an Apple TV, you get your apps through the iTunes store.
Okay,
all right. Apps for any Apple device.
Yeah, so you can't get anything via Google Play.
I've never tried to use Google Play.
You probably can't. I mean, one thing I have tried to do, just as an exercise, is there's the there's TV Plus, the Apple TV Plus app, which has a blockbuster movie on it at the moment called Greyhound. But I did a little check to see if I could get the Apple TV app onto my Android TV, and I can't. So Apple and Android don't like to talk to each other all that much.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing that I couldn't get through the Google Store. It won't do the Apple TV.
Okay. I don't have any of these things yet, and my TV is not very smart, so I use the Chromecast. But I'm thinking, do I have to get lots of little different boxes to do different things?
Well, Chromecast will get you just about everything.
Good. Okay.
Except Apple products. It won't get you Apple products.
That's okay. I can live without them. Thank you.
Yeah. But if you're happy with your Chromecast, but just see how you go. But if you found a few deficiencies in it, I mean, it'll only cast what you can get onto your device. But that's probably good enough for you.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Thank you very much, Gerd.
More questions? I'm going to chip in a suggestion that Gert didn't make, which is you can make your iPad or your iPhone part of your smart TV by buying an HDMI adapter and plugging it into the back. And you can run the apps on the iPad, like iView and the catch-up apps, and display them on the TV. It's not quite as convenient because it's sitting there beside the TV and the control's not beside you. But if you want just to experiment, it can be quite handy.
And it's just a cheap cable, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, well, the adapter from Apple is not all that cheap, being Apple,
Yeah.
about $60 or $70.
Okay.
More questions? No? Well, I guess, with Christine, were you raising your hand or just scratching you? Okay, well, thank you, Gert. That was interesting. For those of us who don't have smart TVs, it's certainly the way to go rather than to rush out and buy a new TV. So thank you for that presentation.
Okay, thanks guys, thanks for attending.
Before we close for the afternoon, I'll just give you